emergency check on my YouTube. Oh, look at that. Looks like we are going live right now, and hopefully people are able to see this because I am about to just make sure that my sounds come through okay and that I can just get everything tweeted out on my YouTube. Oh, look at that. Looks like we are. And looks like the sound's going okay. So let's put that into Twitter and put that over to Facebook. And let's talk about some really freaking cool announcements. One in particular. One that really got me excited and one that I really want to talk about. Severin made their final announcement tonight. So we're going to go over all of the Severin announcements. And more than anything else, I think it's hey there, RB. Jer, you sound like C3PO. What's going on here? Hopefully I don't. I'll check. Going live. So let's put that into Twitter. And put that over to Facebook. Oh, I don't. Talk about... How do I know? I just checked. Let's go into my audio capture and make sure that I don't have two on at once. And stop my cat from getting up. Where's that supposed to be? Down there. Not the best sound. How about now? How about now? How does this sound now? Hello, Brian. To make sure we're not capturing it from two. During the darkness ranking is the tram, the neighbor, eyewitness, and the doll. So let's check out the sound right now. Oh, good. All right. Yeah, sometimes the second comes on. I'm still learning, getting my way around OBS, and that's always going to be a thing. But I do apologize. Well, hopefully not always a thing. So for those who don't know, we're looking at right now, Dario Argento's Deep Cuts is what's coming from Severin. And what exactly does that mean? Well, it's pretty loaded with stuff. So this one has Doorway, Door in the Darkness Part 1, has The Neighbor and the Tram, audio commentary for The Tram with Nathaniel Thompson and Trey Holworth. We get Dario Argento My Cinema Parts 1 and Part 2 on this as well. Disc 2 gets Door in the Darkness Part 2. Episodes 3 and 4, The Doll and the Eyewitness. We got audio commentary again with Nathaniel Thompson and Trey Holworth for these as well. Dario Argento's Master of Horror, 87 minutes. I remember actually renting this from the local Blockbuster. A Streetcar Named Fear, interview with Dario Argento, an interview with Lucio Cosi, of course, who runs Profondo Rosso, and is a prolific director of in his own right. Disc 3, we get Night Shift, followed with TV Nightmares, interviews with Argento, Cosi, Lamberto Bava, Giordano Sacchi, and Antonella Vitali. Disc 4, we get Dario Argento's Nightmares, Giallo Argento, 100 minutes. So really can say it's the latest and final reveal, Nick, for the Severin 10. I think there's 10 in total, and this was the final reveal. We'll go through all of them right now, actually, now that we have all 10 of them revealed. Number 10 was Argento's Deep Cuts. Number 9 was 2020 Texas Gladiators. I was kind of mad that one. It's an okay one, but nothing we're going to be too big on. It'll be a fun watch. There is a 24-hour box set flash show, which we'll talk about. There is, of course, a dog called Vengeance, which was announced. The Creature. The Mad Bomber, Don't Change Hands. It's a different type of announcement. The Red Light Bandit. Mummy and the Curse of the Jackals. Simply Like Silver. And of course, the first announcement was opera. So we got a very eclectic series of announcements from Severin. Usually, the first and the last tend to have some sort of like thematic thing with them. I would agree with Maddie on the fact that I think the tram. Hey, Jordan, welcome, man. Nice to have you in here. My cats are going nuts. I do apologize. I'm trying to. I was hoping to get this done without them going super crazy. But between one going after my drink and the other's going after my films, I'm shooting here, by the way, live. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate that, man. I got a first donation of the video, and I want to thank you so much. This is going to be a big one for Severin. I was very unsure. It was a mixed bag for me with these here. But one of the things that I have to say is it anchors it for two solid, like really, like must-haves for me. Opera is something that I don't know if I'll get it during the sale, only because if I was in Canada, I would get it during the sale. For those who don't know, I live in Morocco right now. So I actually, when I say call it semi-international, it's what it is. I go around different areas and I collect films and other things. But these are the ones that I want to get. There's a store in Paris called Metaluna, and I know that they'll have De Argento's deep cuts. I know that they'll have opera, and I know I'll buy both of those. And a Criterion sale this month for me. Not this month because, unfortunately, I wish, Andrew, my Criterion actually collection is over there. And while the sale's still going on this month, Andrew, I do plan to do a overview of kind of like my Criterions, kind of like probably a list of recommendations and Criterions that I'm glad that I grabbed, because certain ones that I did grab, like Monsters and Madmen, unfortunately, kind of, they no longer exist in the Criterion collection anymore. Hopefully they'll come back. Maybe they'll do a Blu-ray edition of them down the road, because the Haunted Strangler was in that. The First Man on the Moon was in that one. So I'm hoping to get into and talk about some of that as well. So we're just looking at a few different things, doing a little bit of housekeeping, talking about Severin, talking about what's going on with Vinegar Syndrome now, and the latest day of the sale. I'm kind of wondering, have you guys found these sales so far? There's been so many sales going on. No, happy Independence Day in the United States. So, because 4th of July was recently. Happy Canada Day for any fellow Canadians. But there's been so many sales. We've seen the Vinegar Syndrome sale. There's the Camp Arrow sale that's going on right now. Those are huge sales. Of course, Kino has their own sale going on at this particular moment. Severin is getting ready for their sale. For those that are Amazon Prime members, Amazon Prime Day is actually on the 16th and the 17th this year. Dave Lynch stuff on a Jabberwocky, Terry Gilliam. I love me some Terry Gilliam and Dave Lynch. You can never go wrong with Lynch. I'll tell you that much right now. So there is so much, and I actually do have. I do apologize. I was going to bring it up, and I might get it yet. I do have the Maya release of Dario Argento's Door into Darkness. It was the 2-disc set that came out, and I'm sure it's one that Manny has as well, since he just did his ranking of them there at the beginning of it. So it'll be interesting to see where they're going, right, Pixie? Yeah. Where they're going to go with this. And I'm kind of curious to what your favorite announcements were. I know we finally got an announcement as well from Vinegar Syndrome, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Not one that I was particularly excited about, but I know people that are fans of SOV type of horror probably are pretty stoked about this announcement. Let's dive into. No, you do not go up there. The you got the Empire set, right? The Empire Pictures set. But as we can see right here, now DeGasser's latest one's out, and it is Blood Cult. Uh, this is a much better box than I'm gonna be honest. I think Blood Cult deserves. But you know, it was a film back in the day. It's a classic early SOV title. Um, it's it is, in my opinion, uh, better than the Ripper. Uh, but you know, not exactly saying a lot when we say, okay, this is a better film than the film that Tom Savini doesn't want to talk about. But with that being said, let's go real quickly and say what recommendations I would give for the daily deals. I haven't seen these yet, so it's my first time looking, guys. Um, I always go 5 win for the 5 win for the killer. Just gotta love that type of stuff. Killer's Delight. I really did like that film actually, so I'm gonna give a recommendation to Killer's Delight. I always recommend Trauma. It is not the best Argento, but it is still good Argento to have in your collection. There's Creature, which is another good one. Curfew, I was actually very disappointed with. I picked up Curfew during a previous sale. Fortress of America is the VSA release that made me stop collecting VSAs, so I'm not going to recommend that one. Bird Children at Play is actually pretty good. Shriek the Mutilated, I love this film. It is such cheesy fun, and I laugh my ass off every time I watch it. But overall, I think that's my those would be my serious recommendations for this for the ones this time around. Creature and Don't Change Hands first day buys for you. And I mean, for me, so you're not gonna go Triple H with any of the Argentos. Like Argento's Deep Cuts is a pretty solid announcement, as you can see. Periodically 4K, that's a really good one. Only about Burning Paradise so far. Skipped Gondolas. Might get Shriek. Shriek is really fun. Shriek is one that I watched with my better half and my oldest daughter. So, Maddie, basically, I had this one on a box set, which is actually at the farm right now, and it had some Demajan and had some different like Yeti and Bigfoot type films on the set. So we were there, and it was like right after I'd moved to St. John's, and my daughter had come out, and we were sitting down one night to watch a movie together, and we decided to put on one from the set that we picked up in Montreal, and that was one of these creature sets. It is going to be expensive. That's the thing. That's what kills me about this. It's going to be so expensive. So when people talk about like, okay, $18, £18 on the sale for like a 4K and Arrow video, I kind of roll my eyes a bit because that's a good price considering what we pay for some of these Severin and Vinegar Syndrome 4K releases. Um, but so we sat down, we watched Shriek the Mutilated, and we had a blast. There's this that's the scene, that's the movie I always talk about on here, where the girl gets like her husband comes home, he's really drunk, and he pretty much he kills her. Hey there, Alan, man, welcome. Like he tries to kill her type thing, and then he goes and he kind of passes out in the bathtub, gets in the bathtub. So she's not quite dead yet. So she's like dragging herself across the floor, pushing a toaster, and the toaster ends up, well, she electrocutes her her abusive like husband. It has nothing to do with anything else in the movie. It is just so hilarious, and this movie is so random. I love Shriek the Mutilated. Opera. See, I've got Opera. I've got it on DVD. I don't think I've got a Blu-ray. My Arrow. I got the Arrow Opera over there. For those wondering what's behind me in the shelf, because the shelving's new here. So all this here this is all Vinegar Syndrome until we come down past the VSAs. And right here, we have Snaps. And oh, looks like we got a Blue Underground in there by accident. Let's put that over there. Because, yeah, Blue Underground goes down here. We also have some neat little stuff there, like the Canadian edition of Black Christmas, the Seasons Grievings edition. I'll put this back up here. So it can, like, the short-lived company, Millennium Pictures, and their two excellent Hammer horror releases, Frankenstein Created Woman and Dracula Prince of Darkness. Down here I have my Vestron videos, followed by some like movie collections. Here where you can't see, just down a shelf below it, I have my MVD Rewinds. I have my Mondo Macabros. And beneath that, I have my my Kino Lorber releases. And right here, adjacent to me right now, is my row of Arrow and my 80 film slasher classics collection. On Scorpion, say yeah, Scorpion did put that one out. No, I don't think I have. No, like I have Blue Underground's Stendhal, so I still want the Paris version of that one, but because it includes the Isaiah Argento documentary on it. But that's the thing, I'm a massive Argento fan. I had the Blu-ray Steelbook, hard to find edition from Arrow Video of Demons and Demons 2. And when Synapse came out with a 4K release for Demons and Demons 2, I knew I had to pick that up. It's two of my favorite films, and I watch these constantly. The soundtrack for the original Demons film is one of the greatest kind of 80s, like kind of, not heavy metal, but like kind of hard rock pop soundtracks that you'll find in like in any film from that era. And it's utterly fascinating to see some of the stuff that they're putting out right now. Like, sure, I would have loved 10 Giallo announcements or 10 Argento Jason announcements from Severin. But it's a little selfish and it's a little unfair to take it and think of it in that way, because it's important that we see a lot of this stuff in the way that we hope, like that there's something there for everyone. Hey, Monkey, welcome, man. Demon soundtrack. Yeah, it is such a good soundtrack. For those that have not like checked it, the Demon soundtrack, it is a baller soundtrack. Got some great, I think you got Scorpions on there. You got some Billy Idol. Just such great stuff. And I figure I'm up here in my, if you haven't seen, like, I did a video, like a TikTok video, where I just randomly was over the other shelf there about Scream Factory stuff. And I just randomly put my hand out and I picked something up and I kind of blind picked and just, okay, now I'm going to talk about why I got this movie or how this movie came in my collection, like really quickly. And I went through like around 3 of those. So if you're not on my TikTok, that's one of the things that's on there. And I am enjoying. Did I get the sad? I didn't get the sadness from Vinegar Syndrome. I wasn't that a lot. I know a lot of people like Andrew are big on the sadness. I think it's okay. I don't know if I want to own it. And real estate space for my film collection. Eventually I got over 10,000 films in my collection. And I'm at the point where, hey Trek, welcome, man. I want to have stuff that I'm truly going to enjoy, that I'm going to watch and I'm going to rewatch over and over again. So when I went to Spain, I went to Malaga, I started looking for stuff for that I knew I actually really wanted. and I knew I was a massive fan of like Spanish horror, like a Paul Nash and stuff like that. So I found Phantom Terror, and I just like totally fell in love with that. I know there's a 4K coming out of like Stepfather, but I want Stepfather to watch. I want to watch it now. So I grabbed a very inexpensive Blu-ray of the movie Stepfather, and one of House Along Shadows as well, because I like Pete Walker, and actually it's just a fun like cheesy film. And I find myself leaning more towards watching and rewatching um, a lot of that type of stuff. So when I look for movies that I want to get now, I do look for things like Argento's deep cuts. I do look for things like opera, because I know I'm going to watch it. I know that it's something that's going to that's not just a kind of a one and done for me. The Crow and 4 camera, oh, it's a nice one. Is that the Steelbook edition with the slip thing? Because that looks really cool. I was kind of hoping that like Mill Creek could have put it, so I got that Steelbook. Um, Mill Creek has done this whole week of Ultraman. I hope some of you guys actually won some of that stuff. I can't because I reviewed for Mill Creek, so I can't win any of it. I got it all anyway, except for I think I have still by Ultra Q, and I know I could probably reach out and get that like get it sent, but the they sent me a lot of the Ultraman stuff, so I want to be able to like I want to buy stuff, and because I do, people wonder like, okay, if you review for a company, do you ever buy from a company? Yes, all the time, because people started putting stuff before and after. Umbrella is a perfect example of that. I reviewed for Umbrella for a while, but I actually bought a ton from Umbrella. It's like a ton, and I want to buy some more. Some of their big releases. There's a couple that are coming out now that I'm actually very interested in. This is an interesting sale. I am again slip. No, it doesn't matter, man. As long as I get the film, it's like excellent film. Um, Severin's got issues with their shipping and the cost of their shipping. We all know it. It's kind of the it's that pink elephant in the room. That once we talk about a Severin sale, we eventually have to hit upon the fact that, oh yeah, this sale is going to cost a lot. This sale is going to be something that it's going to cost us a bunch of money to. And that's the thing. That's why it's important to look at this stuff and realize, okay, what do I want? What do I want to get? And I think what we need to do right now, and it's kind of important to do, is let's look at those box sets, because there's quite a few coming out. I do have a few of the Severin boxes here myself, and they're just across the room, so I can always grab one if need be. But let's look at the box set sale, because that's actually one of the key pieces I think of the Severin sales more recently. Are those like box set sales that they do? Like, can they do like, and they're like flash sales, or like so many hours. They're like one evening. So 50% off the SRP on all the following sets. So we'll go through the sets here. I'll read them out to you. I know that kind of. Self, and they're just across. So we have here all the Hansby Hours set, which is the full core set, the complete Lindsay Baker Giallo collection. If you don't have that in your collection yet, I really strongly recommend that, along with all the Hansby Hours. This is going to be the cheapest time to get these, like at 50% off the SRP price. We have Danza Macabre volumes 1 and 2 on here. The Dungeon of Andy Milligan is here. Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee volumes 1 and 2 is here as well. House of Psychotic Women, the Kayla Janice one. Another fantastic one is here. Incredibly Strange Films of Ray Dennis Steckler is in this sale. Nasty Habits, the Nunsploitation collection is here. The Sensual World of Black Emmanuel, which I do strongly recommend, is here as well. The Violent Streets, the Lenzi Milan collection is here. And Wings of Disaster, the Birdemic trilogy. It is a 24-hour sale going on July 13th, 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. 50% off the SRP. That's some pretty good stuff right there. And I have to say, I got my favorite Fantatera so far. I think is the only one that doesn't that I don't have a limited edition of, and it's Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll. I'm a massive like Giallo fan, and Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll with Paul Naschy. It did like I kind of guessed it, but then I second guessed it. Bruce Lee clones and Andy Milligan said those are nice, man. Um, so I'd say if you've never seen Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll, it's really really good. Though actually, there's not a bad Fantasy release in my opinion. Was the box that I said I highly recommend. So for me, when it comes to their box sets, I I can give high recommendations to like, and it all depends on what you like, right? But I like the Central World Black Emmanuel. I think that's a really good set. I will like tell people that if you're not a massive fan of Emmanuel, after a while, some of the films do tend to be similar, if you know what I mean. All the Hansby Hours, the folk horror box set, is a massive tome of a set. It is such a big set. Now, this is one that viewers bought for me during the Severin's very first box set sale, and I still need to do a complete review of because it is that massive of a set that I've started and restarted doing it, and I've filmed portions of the review for that box set, but it hasn't been to my liking yet. I'm a big stickler for that stuff. I do think that if you're into the like the Pliziateshi, then Violent Streets, the Lindsay Milian collection is really, really good. And the complete Lindsay Baker Jallo collections are that's something that I do think everybody should have in their collection. There's a ton of really good releases here of really fantastic sets. Severin has been the king of the box sets when it comes to kind of what they do. Is Does Hackle Lantern need a 4K release? Not bad, like good on them. But I'm not quite sure if Hack Lantern how was it shot? Did it is with it shot in a way that's gonna like it's gonna benefit from 4K? I do. I mean, I think that when it comes to box sets, Nick, that Severin is a creme de la creme. Vinegar Syndrome does some great box sets. I have a lot of them right here, from their Jello sets to Angel to Amityville, like a bunch of the Vinegar Syndrome sets. But Severin does a better job when it comes to box sets. They are more comprehensive. There's more in there that I can say, well, they're really well done sets. There's no other company that puts out like the complete Al Adamson. There's no other company that's going to look at the entire Black Emmanuel series, or they're going to like dive into the Amicus and do like Euro films of Christopher Lee. The opera set, I can tell you right now, track, I expect that to be super pricey. Um, I'd say if we're looking at like some of their other ones, and let's go to Severin's site again. I'd be very careful with Severin's site because they do tend to sometimes have the. So let's look at their 4K releases. So Cemetery Man says $38. It's on sale though, right? So let's get like one of their bigger 4K releases that's here. I'm already into here and see what we got. So let's just say, okay, let's look at Cemetery Man. So Cemetery Man says that the SRP right here is listed as $44.95 with a savings for $38. If it turns out to be something like that, that'd be amazing. But remember, this is a standard edition 2-disc 4K UHD. Cemetery Man, when it initially came out, had a much different, much more. It's had a bigger set. iTunes is true. People are saying Friday 13th Part 2 is 4K upgraded. Not shocked on that one. Now, so we may be getting that this year. I expect a Friday the 13th Part 2 4K Steelbook to be coming in the near future. Not sure if they'll drop it before Halloween, but it would be a good time in the month of October to drop something like that. It'd be even better if they've already got like HG rematches of 3 and 4 and maybe put 2, 3, and 4 out around the same time, even if they put them out in the same week or around the week or two after. I always expect up to at least up to part 4 on Friday the 13th to get 4K remasters. After that, though, you know, I'm trying to see. So there's 7 of the 8 cats are right there, like, and at least 5 of them are sleeping on my bed right now. Because this is where I'm sleeping tonight. Because I'm not waking up in. Like there's so many big releases. Like here we got Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker with this exclusive slipcover. It's $49.95. That's $50. I'm American. Um, it'll be interesting to see. So by the way, these bundles down here, you're seeing that like the Death Smells bundle, the January 2024 bundle. None of those will be on during the sale. Like the bundles won't be available during the sale. Really, the Alliance bored you? See, I like, but it's not for everybody. Like, if you gotta like Sean, you gotta like folk horror, and I think how much did you watch a lot of it, or did you watch certain ones? Because I think there's folk horror for that'll hit everybody, but it really depends. Like, it really depends on the on what you like, and and it's like I always say, everybody has their own thing that they like. Hey, Mike, welcome, man. Are you getting the Argento deep cuts? Because that's a really cool one. And that's one of the cool things about this. So, like, I, for instance, am my better half. Are massive fans of like Bollywood and Bollywood horror. So this Bollywood horror set, like the Mon Macabre put out, this had to come on with us when we went to Paris. We she grabbed me the Black Emmanuel set, and I grabbed her the Bollywood horror set, which is really an us set because I love this stuff too. Like 6 massive Bollywood horror ones on here. Again, not for everybody. Not everybody's going to be excited and want to watch. Say, for instance, Varana, Vengeance of the Vampire, which is 140 minutes, which is the average length for a Bollywood film. Like, if anything, that's maybe a little bit on the lower side. Like, 140 minutes is like usually a minimum on a Bollywood film. But that's a good thing about all the sets that Severin's putting out, is that there's quite a wide range of what's out there, and even within the sets themselves. Like, look at the Al Adamson set, one of the first, kind of the start, the that pushed towards the big stuff that they do. Al Adamson set just showed so much of this director. I had this amazing documentary, and we got to see like not just horror films that he made, but other films, westerns that he made, like children's films, comedies, just a amazing proliferation of films from like one director. And the only company that we expect to see something like that from is Criterion. And if they're doing like Anya Varda or Bergman. More than likely, it's a rights issue. Now that did, to be fair to Limshan, it did hang on longer than I think it's expected. Right now, I find that for a lot of companies, because of streaming services and because of different boutique labels that are out there and the different countries that are working with that it's become a time when we don't have companies getting the rights to films for the like 10 or 15 years. Not even usually like 5 years. Usually it's like for a select number of amount being sold before those rights will revert back to the owner, and the owner can sell them to a streaming service, or sell them digitally, sell them on iTunes, sell them to MVD Rewind. So you I don't get the hate for the Camille Keaton box set either. I actually really love that set. Kevin Smith, yeah, I noticed that. I like Dogma a lot, so actually kind of want to see how that goes. Kevin Smith is still like he's made some films that a lot of people like nowadays aren't super big on. Uh, I bought the Al Amsa set when it came out. I think it was 199 or two something. It was two something anyway. So when I bought it though, I bought the the edition that came with, and it'll be up here soon enough anyway. The poster, with the autographs by Van Dor and all those people on it. So I bought the ones that had the poster and had like the 7-inch record and a bunch of other stuff with it. I was a massive fan. So the second that was announced, I ordered it, and I think it went really really quickly. But I remember the video actually that Jose made, because I was really excited that he got it, because I know he'd initially missed out on it. Pokemon's a bigger franchise, but yeah, I kind of expected. Yeah, I hope that we'll get some stuff that. Like, there's so much that's coming out right now. There's just so much to look in. There was a time when like it was like just a couple companies that was doing this, so you'd only get like one release. But like, how many releases of Child's Play have we seen over the years, right? And just to see if I can show this one. Yeah, it's good. Okay. So movies like Snapshot, which also got like an indicator release more recently, a hardbox release too. It's good and it's bad. It's because right now we're seeing a lot of different titles that are coming out, but we're seeing companies get them for extremely short periods of time. You have not seen most of the stuff. Depending on what you're into, let me know, because like you're not into the folk horror one, so you're not. I'm gonna guess, and you can let me know if you're wrong, if I'm wrong, which I am fairly often, Sean. Um, that you're not as big on the slow burn horror, um, as like some folk horror, because folk horror does tend to be like, even like the newer ones like Midsommar, tend to be like a slow burn, like definitely a slow burn horror. Some of it's really slow. Like, I love Midsommar, but even I'll say that went a bit slow on that burn. Um, but there's some great sets there. So if there's ones that you're looking at, and I will be trying to be live during that sale, um, let me know. If possible, let me know ahead of time, and I'll let me know now if there's ones you're looking at, and I can give you my thoughts on it, because, especially if I got it. And I do have a bunch of the Severin boxes over there. For some of them, for instance, like Christopher Lee Volume One, I can actually take that and show you. Ali Amson said, I got that right there. Hall of the Ounce Bowers. You've seen that one. So that's over there. The Black Emmanuel set, I got that one there as well. Heavy Metal 4K Tears goes awesome. Sad here the magazine is done. Is it really? So for those that know, most people know Heavy Metal, at least the film, and of course the sequel that came out as well. But Heavy Metal was a magazine in North America, one I grew up with actually. But it started in France. The original Heavy Metal was a magazine uh, for adult series. I don't mean adults in like a Playboy. It was like just like, but they did have some like nudity stuff in there, like fantasy magazine called Metal Hurlant. And Metal Hurlant was brought over to North America as Heavy Metal, and I knew that they were struggling a bit, which is a bit of a shame, because I just spoke with my youngest daughter tonight, and she works at a library, She's Siberian. So so we talked about like reading and how like she likes to read. She reads a lot of book stuff, but she likes to keep up with her magazine. So where she's at, she'll actually get like the magazines come to read. Like if she can't get physical copies of them, like at the library, there's something called Libby, and you can just say, okay, I want to get this, this, and this magazine, and each month, you get the digital, be able to read it. Tempt on Dan's Macabre because you like big haunted house horror. Which one? April 2023. Then April 2023 is a sad day. So let's go over here. Let's look at Danza Macabre. So there's 3 volumes, and the first 2 volumes are the ones that are going to be on sale. We know that they're beautiful looking volumes, so that's not something that we're worried about. So we got the Seventh Grave, Monster of the Opera. Jeez, that's a beautiful cover. Scream the Demon Lover, and Lady Frankenstein. And I would say that out of all those releases, Lady Frankenstein is probably the most known release. Sometimes it depends. See, here's the thing: some of the Spanish films do go a bit crazy with the nudity, but some of them go in the complete opposite direction. I'm not sure if you saw my Fantaterra video, uh, but Fantaterra isn't just a label of films that are done in Spain. Fantaterra is a label that's named that because of an era of Spanish. Much in the way UK had their video nasties, Spain had Fantaterra. And what that meant is an era between like the 60s and the 80s when there was like massive political unrest. Hey there, Kubrick. And often sometimes censorship. And guys like Leon Klimowski and Paul Naschy, um, De Osorio were kind of like pushing against that. And sometimes they could, and sometimes some of those films got censored more than. So if you're watching like Paul Naschy and you're seeing something like you have like clothed and unclothed versions like on sets, and sometimes you see something like on the Vinegar Syndrome, one of the first box sets, yellow box sets, had one with Naschy called with the 13 Guests one, and that one is very tame. So it really depends on the film. Lady Frankenstein is one that you've probably seen. It's with Joseph Cotten, and it's been in a lot of like collections and sets throughout the years. It's one of those kind of they got stuck in kind of in public domain hell for quite a while. So I'm not sure if that helps out though. But we got Monster of the Opera. Renato Policelli is a good director, and Ernesto Gastaldi. I do tend to like his stuff. A lot of the giallos that came out in that time period with Umberto Lenzi and guys like that were written by Ernesto Gastaldi. They do say erotic shocker, so then it looks like we're getting eroticism right here in 1964. As far as that goes, I'm not quite sure because I do not have these sets yet. Though I do want to have all of these sets. The Seventh Grave is another really cool one. Scream of the Demon Lover, Jose Luis Marino. I've got one of his films over there, and I want more. Lady Frankenstein again. That's the one that most people know, and I like the fact that they've worked in like some really decent special features, audio commentaries, interviews, all the goodness that you expect for something like this. Bitter Ash because you're Canadian, right on. Kinzaza, Infernal, okay, Videophobia, and Secto Sinestro for the $10 deal. So many good deals, sales, and new releases. It is a time when it's almost too much. Appears I can find someone watching me on your TV and type in a phone. That's that kind of cool. Um, my late grandmother, um, she had she had dementia, so she had Alzheimer's, and she unfortunately passed from that. But when my mom and my aunts would be visiting, what they would do was they would like put on YouTube on the TV, and they'd put me. I had to twist cinema. They'd put like videos like that I did on TV, and she'd watch them and she'd like wave, and it was yeah. So if nothing else, like if I got nothing else out of the last 12 years, um, I know that my grandmother got to see me. Uh, that was important. My girl went in business for a while, then came back, but changed a ton. I mean, it is. I mean, it you have to like right now to make it as like as a print magazine, as a newspaper. It's really hard. Um, like for authors that are making it right now, they're trying to make it right now. If you're not Stephen King or the latest like celebrity tell all book, then you're making in the thousands or under. Not even sometimes in the tens of thousands. You might be up there as one of the big sellers, but it's just the way that's going right now. Twisted Cinema, well, we got the big announcement of the final Severin release for the sale, and I'm very excited about it. It's been a great time. Now this is one of the Danza Macabras. I'll look at the second one here because that will also be on sale. I love the look and the kind of the way these are done. So again, it's an 8 disc 4K UHD set. So as you can see, it says 134.95 right there. So that's going to be. Let me see if I can do math. Around $65, $66, I think, if I get that correct. Um, Maybe I don't have correct. We'll see. We'll find out the day of the sale. And on this one right here, they start off with the first 3 discs being, of course, Castle Blood, um, begun by Sergio Corbucci, the guy who did Django, and of course, Great Silence, completed by Antonio Margaretti. We start off with Barbara Steele's Castle Blood, followed up with Jekyll from 1969, which I have to say I have not seen. They changed their faces. They have changed their faces is here. The Devil's Lover from 1972, and we have the great Edmund Purdom on here. Of course, we know him from things like Absurd with George Eastman, and of course, Devil's Lover has the beautiful Rosabella Neri. And who doesn't want to see Rosabella Neri in a film? And we get the finish that one off. We get like a soundtrack. So I think Volume 2 is going to be much more expensive than Volume 1. Volume 1 is got $100 price range on it right now, so you can expect this to be around 50 on sale. 3 won't be on sale, but the first 2 will be, and have to say it's Money in the Bank tomorrow on NXT Heatwave. Yeah, I have what's it called on my phone, Supercard. You know that WWE game, and they actually have like this. This said hit here for like a watch along. I guess for tweeting. This guy caught me Frankenstein's Kung Fu Monster in the mail from Germany. That sounds cool. Bear Grylls is a fantastic film. I love Bianchi. So, Andrea Bianchi is this insane director who does just over the top stuff. So, Bear Grylls, for instance, is one that you've all seen. And the other one that like really kind of, because he did a giallo as well, called Strip Nude for Your Killer. Anybody here have the Danza Macabra sets? I'm kind of curious. I do want to get these eventually myself. Looks like Sean is like leaning towards the first one, but he kind of needs that, I guess, needs that push to say, okay, that's, are they worth getting? Because these are like, I'm not gonna lie here. These here are insane. Bianchi. You're phonetically letting me know how to pronounce his name right. Thank you, Twisted. Um, I got to get one name wrong at least. Ella, or something, you're gonna assume I was like swapped out, like body swap, but with someone else. If I get things too right. Blood for Jackals is fantastic. Now, Blood for Jackals is an insanely wonderful film. I watched it with my cousin Raj, and he'd never seen it before. And I got Flesh for Frankenstein just before he came here. So when he visits, we're gonna watch Flesh for Frankenstein together because he loved Blood for Dracula. He thought it was hilarious. I'm not sure if all the Danza Macabras will be that insane, but there is a level of insanity there. I would say if you like stuff like that, again, some of the look at when I'm doing some of the foreign label releases. There's a lot of really good stuff that comes out when I'm looking at that type of stuff. When I looked at like the Fanta Terra label, or when I'm looking at companies like Extra Lucid, Extra Cult, um, find a lot of really cool stuff through there. Start with Volume 1. It's the best introduction down to Macabre. There you go. Vince got it. And it is, the releases, they got to look gorgeous on the shelf. They got to. They're just amazing. Do I think someone will do one more big release of Zombie in 4K? Yes. Do I think it's needed? No. Uh, but do I think they'll redo it because they're going to go back to that well again? Yeah, I think that there's a lot more movies we can put out there. Uh, and, you know, I'm saying that while having like movies like, you know, New York Ripper and House by the Cemetery on 4K here in my collection. Now for my edition of Zombie, I just stuck with the Blu-ray lenticular, and I went for this one. The eye trauma one. There's the adult 3 there, but yeah, I'm a twisted guy. But there are a lot that's coming out right now. Like this is a one of the best times it has been to be in like if you're like a fan of films, you're a fan of genre stuff. July 10th pre-order for The Hitcher comes up from Second Sight. This can be a big one. I know there's the German release is already out there, but the Second Sight one, and again like Second Sight is a company that I'm not sure to have it over here. Is it over there? It's probably over there. I've got a few releases of, and I love every release I got from them. Finally getting Nightmare on Elm Street this year on 4K. Uh, my only concern is because we're getting it from the company that we're getting it from, we're not going to really get anything new, and I'm still awaiting. Uh, I'm still awaiting. Twisted, thank you. I'm still awaiting the release of Freddy's Nightmares, the complete series. I really want that. I used to stay up like to 3 o'clock in the morning to watch Freddy's Nightmares. I used to love that show. And it was insane. Like it was a nutty show. Because twisted in the best way. There we go. Because I just look, and it's so nice to have everything. Like for the longest time was when I had my like a lot of these boutique label releases downstairs. Everything was just crazy. It was kind of like everywhere. But now, if let's just say if I wanna look at Flesh for Frankenstein, I just stand up, and it's right there. Or you want a non-boutique label release that is just something that I like, type of films that I watch. This is the not sure how good the lighting is right there. I know it's insane, huh? But this is Ultimate Gangster Collection. This they did like an old school one. This is a newer one. It has like Mean Streets, The Untouchables, Goodfellas, Heat, and The Departed. So there was a classic and there was a contemporary. I actually won this on a YouTube contest. I'm guessing the set is still around, right? And I have got a couple of these upgraded to 4K already, but to have these movies here like this and have this like this book, this little book on the films, so cool. And I watch movies like Heat, like and Untouchables, Goodfellas a lot. I love Goodfellas. It's one of my favorites. I think Goodfellas is probably one of the most realistic gangster films of all time. Where's opera rank? Oh, I need to do a new ranking for my Argento releases. Now that we got more stuff out there. For the latter era of Argento, because it breaks into three basic eras for me. So there's like the classic era of Argento, where we get the early stuff like the Deep Reds, the Tenebrae, and the Birth of Crystal Plumage, that era of stuff. And then we get to the slightly later stuff where we're looking at things like opera, aka Terror at the Opera. And then we got, of course, Phantom of the Opera, which is another opera-related film. And we're getting stuff like Stendhal Syndrome. And that era ends off, I think, with Sleepless. And then we get into like the more modern stuff like Dracula 3D and Dark Glasses. But for me, opera is definitely ranks extremely high, and especially in his latter era stuff. I think my favorite of his latter era releases is probably still Stendhal, because it speaks personally to me. But I think opera is really really good, and it has an insane ending. But just the killer in opera it is classic like Argento Twisted. I really want to see Maxine. I don't know if it's going to play here or not. Um, I I may have to see it through streaming, and that kind of bums me out. On the good side of it, I got a 65-inch TV, so at least I'll get to see it on a nice size. But it'll be nice to see it in a movie theater. Um, I actually like Godfather 2 better than Godfather. I know, sacrilege, right? Mariska Hargitay, yeah, she was actually into it in an episode. She was the overworked was mortician like medical student, right? One of the most beautiful women in the world. Like I think she is truly one of the most beautiful women in the world, and I'm very jealous of you getting to see it. The Falachi Papers is a really good gangster film. But I guess with all that being said, uh, I is she. Unfortunately, part in the Ghoulies wasn't as big. I do have Ghoulies here as well. Ghoulies 2, and of course, the best worst movie. Oh, no, it's for Trolls too. But I do have Ghoulies and Ghoulies 2. But I have to say, I'm stoked. Like to see the Dario Argento's deep cuts really excited me. Last minute, I was going to come on here. I was going to get up my OBS. I was going to put everything together. Jeffrey Combs is a sweetheart of a guy. Jane Mansfield. So Mariska Hargitay's like mother is Jane Mansfield, and her father is Mickey Hargitay, the the bodybuilder, who was in a bunch of films as well, including a couple ones that Severin put out. They worked together on Broadway in a movie with Tony Randall called "Could Success Spell Rock Hunter," where Jane Mansfield is like the sex bot character, and her would be her dad, Mickey Hargitay, is in that movie as well. It's a really good, funny film. If you've never seen it, I think Criterion put it out, so that's a recommendation for the Criterion sale, if I'm correct on that one. Because it's an excellent film, and one that I do need to pick up myself. I want to give you a Criterion recommendation, like right as I'm going out here, is A Face in the Crowd. If you've never seen or never owned A Face in the Crowd, You gotta want to face in the crowd. It's just such a wonderful film, and it's more relevant than ever. Andy Griffith is like chilling in that film. He was the question. We had a great question. Jeffrey Coombs did. My name is Aaron. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank the generous donation on here as well. I want to thank my patrons. I want to thank my donators and my patrons because you guys keep the channel going, and I really appreciate that. But above all, I just want to make sure that you come in here, you enjoy yourself, hit that like button, share. It does help out the channel, and like subscription slot always says. But above all, please have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy this time right now of physical media sales and releases and just so much great stuff. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And I'll see you soon.